I have 6 courses listed on Udemy and I'm going to be crossing $30,000 revenue this month. Over this video, I'm going to be walking you through how to create an online course that is profitable, how to figure out what to create a course on, how to research your course idea, how to build it, and how to publish it. I also have recently published this blog on how I launch 4-hour courses in a day, which initially took me 3 weeks. So really excited to take you guys through this entire mini course. Let's get started. I'm going to also walk you through how now I can launch 4-hour courses or mini courses in less than a day. We're going to be walking you through each of these steps. So how do you do validation or research? How do you build curriculum, and how do you publish? So to create any course, you will have to go through 4 major stages. It's ideation, research, build, and publish. But before that, let me walk you through the Udemy numbers. So this is my Udemy numbers. It's $29,000. It's going to be crossing $30,000 because the October revenue is not yet accounted for. I have roughly around 15,000 enrollments on my AI based courses. You can see these are the 6 courses or roughly 7 courses that I had launched. One of them is now not available anymore. So the first course was on the AI avatars and it took me 3 weeks. The second one took me 4 weeks. The third one took me 2 weeks. My fourth course took me 2 weeks. The 6th and 5th course took me less than a week. And the reason why it took me so less time compared to before is because I kind of, throughout the journey when I was creating courses, I was constantly optimizing and learning new things, which is how I figured out how to create courses faster, and which is what I talk about here. So there is ideation, where you build up what you want to build in the course. And then there is research on the course. Then there is creation and editing, where you record content, create assignments, notes, cover images, and so on. And then there is editing content piece. Then I talk about each of these steps. Anyway, so if you want to go through like a document of sorts, you can go and take a look at this doc. But let's move on to this document. So one of the reasons why you should build an online course is because it's a great side revenue. The other, reason is the lifelong revenue. So if you are an expert in areas like, business, or maybe personal growth, for example, how to live happy while working a full-time job, then all of these are like generic topics that can make you long-term revenue. So these are the 2 major reasons. It can give you freedom from 9 to 5. It gave me that freedom to kind of take a leap and build my own company. So it's great if you do it right, and I'm here to help you how to do that. So there are, again, like I said, 4 major stages. You can break build down in 2 further stages, that is content creation and editing. But broadly there are 4 stages. First one is ideation. This is actually where you figure out what you want to build. In most cases, I would recommend choosing a niche topic that is not too competitive, but at the same time has some decent amount of audience. And it also needs to be something that you're passionate about. If you don't know anything about that topic, or that topic does not excite you, you're not going to be able to do this really well. So the ideation is a super simple part, and we're not going to be really doing a lot of discussion here. To give you an example, when generative AI came, the generative AI went mainstream in January. It wasn't my passion back then, and which is exactly why my first course didn't go as expected. You can see it was a disaster. So I had to shut it down, but the subsequent ones were, successful. The reason why the course didn't work out is I was learning generative AI too at that point of time, just like a lot of you guys are learning today. So primarily, if you're not passionate about the subject, it makes sense to reevaluate your choice about the subjects, because it's likely that once your course, does not receive good reviews, it is not going to shine in the crowd. So it definitely makes sense to ensure, it makes sense to kind of keep in mind that you're passionate about the subject. Now this topic could be AI SEO. This is a niche topic, because not a lot of courses, when I created the AI SEO course, were talking about how to leverage AI to improve your SEO. Right now it's become competitive again, but you look at topics like AI for research and so on and so forth. These are very niche topics and don't have a lot of competition, while there is some decent audience that is looking for these type of courses. I'll show you how to figure out which topics to pick first, which topics to pick next. I'll also show you how to decide which topics to take up in the first place, which is the next phase of the course creation, the research part. So research, also known as the validation. Validation could be done on the Udemy marketplace. Let me just show you. So if you are an Udemy instructor, you will be able to see things like these, where you can actually go into either marketplace insights or Udemy business content opportunities. Let me show you both of these. So this is the marketplace insights area where you can actually look at what topics are trending. They will give you a list of promising topics up front. So if what you're thinking of is one among these, you should definitely kind of pick up. But let's say you want to build a course on course creation, right? So you will look for course creation. And you will find this topic, online course creation, where Udemy will tell you the student demand, number of courses, median monthly revenue, and the top monthly revenue for these courses. And you can also see what percentage of the course receive most amount of enrollments, and then what kind of keywords the users are looking for. You can see there's online business, teacher training, passive income, so on and so forth. Then how these courses are discovered and what languages these courses are in, right? So it will also show you the top earning courses based on the search results. So this is one way to see if the course, does make sense for you to create this course. For me, given that I am mostly publishing my courses on Udemy, this is more than enough validation to know if I should be able to pursue that course. But as a second step, I also look at Udemy business opportunities, where they will list down a bunch of, opportunities that business side of Udemy is looking for, right? So Udemy is also kind of tied up with companies, and these company employees are looking for certain courses. Udemy business is also great source of revenue, because for every enrollment, you will be paid for the amount of minutes the students are watching, which does add up to a decent amount of revenue. I think it constitutes to around 70% of the revenue that I'm making on my platform right now. So these are the two obvious steps you need to take in order to do your research. If you don't have access to these, consider using Keyword Planner. I'll just show you. While the Keyword Planner is loaded, you can actually directly also use Google. So if you look for course creation course on Google, you'll see there are opportunities here. If you look at course development course, then you will be able to see certain courses here. If you see that there are courses listed here, and then there are searches on Keyword Planner, you know that there is an opportunity in that area to build a course, and that kind of does it for the validation. If you still aren't sure, let me show you how to look it up on Keyword Planner just in case. Alright, so this is the Keyword Planner. I'm just going to click on visit Keyword Planner right now. So this is the Keyword Planner. What you can basically do is just search for a keyword here, course creation. Let's say online course creation, because that is what was listed on Udemy. And the minute you look for that, you'll see that there was some sort of spike here in March 2023 COVID, and then I think it started dropping. But the topic is coming back up, which means there is a scope for creating content here. Again, note that the volume of this is just 70, right? 70 searches per month, which is not too huge, but maybe if you have a specific niche that you want to target, feel free to kind of going ahead with this tool for doing your research anyway. So yeah, this is for research and validation. I mean, at this point, you will know, if your course does really have any value in the market, right? Especially if marketplace, this is like the great source. Then Google and YouTube. And even if you're still not able to figure out, just, if you have Reddit, you can look it up. You can put a post on Reddit to get some validation, or you can actually do the emails. If you have like an email subscriber list for a specific area, just drop them emails and see if you get some interest or early interest. If the people are willing to pre-buy your course, that means that the market does exist for that. Now, once you have the idea, once you know that there is a market for the course, how do you actually put together the whole course? And then there are 4 mini steps here, right? So first is curriculum, second is script, third is record, and fourth is edit. Initially, this took me crazy amount of time. Like for example, the first course itself was for 2 hours, but it took me 3 weeks, because that was my first course, and I had no clue how to leverage tools or what kind of editing software to use or what kind of recording software to use. So it was kind of a steep learning curve. Over this 4 areas, I'll just show you how I do it now, which is relatively faster than how I used to do previously. So let's say curriculum, right? Now curriculum is the most important part of anything, right? Because if you get this wrong, if the flow of your lectures is wrong, and this is the mistake I made with my first and second courses. For the first course, I wasn't able to correct because the content got outdated, but the second course turned out to be really well, and it's still making me good amount of money, right? So the important part here is to figure out how to research your curriculum. And trust me, like while this is the most important part, this is actually the most easiest thing to do, right? So how do you know if something is, working in the market? By actually looking at other courses that are working in the market, right? So let's say you wanted to build a course on generative AI. So if you want to build a course on generative AI, the easiest way is to kind of look up, generative AI on the course platform, because the curriculum they are using, at least the top course that is using that curriculum, it's probably working well for them. So it does make sense for you to utilize what they have done to at least get you moving towards the starting point, right? So this is my course. Let's say you were researching on how to build on, courses with generative AI. You would basically go inside the course and you would look up the curriculum for this course. So let's say I'll click here. Think I'm already enrolled for the course. So I'm already enrolled for the course, which is why I don't directly see the landing page, but you can see the curriculum is here. Now this is the curriculum that is doing well and that's visible from the rating that the course has received, right? So it does make sense for you to, leverage the curriculum of this at least as an initial starting point. So what you would typically do is you would make a note of the curriculum, something like this, right? So there is the first section on research, the second section is on curriculum, third is on publishing, and so on and so forth. And then I would go to ChatGPT and I'd paste the curriculum here, the rough notes, and I'd tell it to generate the curriculum for the course itself. So you can see it's done a very good job. It took me literally a few minutes of effort to build this curriculum, and I'd definitely use it for the course itself, right? So if this video was a course, this would have a curriculum like this. So there is research where you do validation on marketplace, keyword planner, and then you talk about steps for each of these. So I went through each of these websites. It does make sense to kind of list them out as separate sections if you're talking about separate bits of the curriculum itself. Again, you can see I had very little effort invested here. So now once you have all of these, the curriculum is ready. If you're working on a marketplace like in Udemy, you can actually go to Udemy and click on new course, where you will be able to edit or manage course. So let's say you create a new course. Now from this point on, you can start creating the curriculum for that course. This will be a course creation window where you will be able to list your content down. Now note that this is like a very simple thing to do. It's not so complicated. I'm not going to be investing a lot of time here, but I'm going to show you how to kind of set up that curriculum just in case you're trying to upload this, right? So there is the section 1, then you can add sections. Inside section you can add like a curriculum lecture, so you add lecture. Now inside the lecture you will be able to add either video, a slide mashup, or an article, right? So in most cases you will need video because you will be directly uploading the recorded videos per se. And you do this for all the videos or the curriculum you've recorded. The only effort here is doing that. Otherwise, curriculum is pretty straightforward because GPT will help you generate. Now, the important part about the curriculum is to actually figuring out a differentiation. So let's say this course talks about how to create online courses. And now a great differentiation would be how to create online courses using AI, which is something that this mini course talks about. That could be a differentiator factor in this course. So maybe you can say add another module on AI courses, right? And you can see it will automatically add one more module, which is the introduction to AI courses, and so on and so forth. Without really putting too much effort on the curriculum, you know what works in the market and you have your differentiation. So you have a killer curriculum to start your course with. Next is the script part. Now this is where your passion or from the, parts from the ideation and actually putting or building the curriculum come together. So if you have crazy amount of passion for the course that you're building, or if you've been doing it for a while now, it'll be very straightforward, right? Because you'll already know what to talk about. But if you're doing it, when you don't really have the knowledge, it's going to be a steep learning curve. What I would usually do, or what I did for my first course, is basically before I even start recording these courses, I'd pick up a course that exists in the market that talks about the traditional way of doing this without an AI or without the differentiation that I am adding or without the knowledge that I'm bringing. I'd go through that entire course, maybe 2x the speed, and I'd learn what the instructor is teaching throughout the course. And then, based on the knowledge that I've gained through a bunch of different courses, right? I'd also do some online research, by the way. I'd look at Reddit with respect to what people are expecting for these courses, and putting all of this together and then approaching writing script or recording the content. Because if you record bad content, none of this is going to make sense, right? So for example, you do a great job ideating and getting the right topic, you do good research, but your content is bad, it's not going to work out. So it does make sense to invest time to learn about the content if you're not passionate about it. If you've already been doing it for X number of years, then it becomes pretty straightforward for you. So for example, if I were to teach AI and product management, now because I've been doing it for 5-7 years, it's relatively straightforward for me to talk about these topics, right? Which may not be the case if you're building a course that you don't relate to. So it's important to pick a topic that you can connect to. As for script, it does make sense to just, note down the bullet points. While I am kind of teaching you this, while I'm kind of teaching you how to create these courses, I know how to create courses, right? Which is why I'm able to talk about how I did it. But it does make sense to kind of create bullet points, which is exactly what I've done here. So you can see build curriculum, because it kind of walks you, or maybe kind of works as a starting point for you. The other thing that you should definitely do, and I'd recommend for all the course creators, is that you should set up slides that if the content is just walking the users through what you are teaching them, then it makes sense to kind of create PowerPoint or Canva based slides and walk them through the slides while you're going through the video. And I'll show you in the OBS section on how to set this up, right? So yeah, that's kind of an important bit for you, right? And I'd always recommend using the bullet point approach. If you need the entire script, it makes sense to kind of go back and read about the course before you prepare the script. Now let's talk about the recording part. Recording part is actually very straightforward, and I use a free tool for it called OBS. It's called obsproject.com. It's an open source screen recorder that a lot of YouTubers use, and I use it personally, and a lot of course creators use as well. It's very straightforward. Download the version, and then let me just go through the OBS window to help you set up how it's done. Alright, so on the left side there are scenes, and then on the middle here you will be able to see something like the sources for you to record the content. Basically, you'll always need two things. First is the window capture, so you can go ahead and select the window capture here. This is basically used to select or record your screens. Then if in an ideal case, I'd recommend showing your face on the camera when you're talking about topics or going through PowerPoint, which case you'll need to use the video capture device. Move the video capture device to the top and window capture to the second, and also add audio capture if you're using the separate one. To set up the mic that you want to use, just click here, click on properties, and then select the microphone you want to select. There are tutorials on OBS, so I'm not going to deep dive here, but I'm just going to show you the basic ones. Then you can also go ahead and select on the right side, you'll be able to start and stop the recording, and that's pretty much mostly what you would want to do. In settings, I'd recommend just one thing. Just go to settings, go to settings and output, and then set up the encoder and a bunch of different things here. Just ensure that your recording format is MP4, then high quality medium size, then the encoder is very fast. This will ensure that your videos are good quality, and also that they are not too huge post the recording. If you're creating courses, you don't need very, very high quality videos. Rather, explanatory or cleaner videos would be fine. So once all of that is set up, that's all you need for the recording equipment. You can obviously go ahead and set up like a good recording environment. Ensure that you don't have things like these fan or things that make noise. You also have to ensure that you have decent amount of lighting to show your face. You can see my face, obviously. And then, there is the option to add like a green screen in the background if you'd want to, but it's not mandatory. Most courses focus on the knowledge gained, but it definitely is a good touch if you have like a great setup internally, right? So broadly, that's about the setup. Let me just fix the camera now. Alright, so I'm hoping you see the screen again, and let's go to the next section. Alright, so the OBS guide is done, and finally edit, right? So this is the major part of how I'm saving a lot of time now. You can see I've talked about this here as well, the curriculum. And then, for slides, by the way, you can leverage Canva to do that, and then just share your slides and you walk your students through with your face. visible and the slides visible. Then for course recording, like I mentioned, it's the OBS. Finally, editing, and this kind of is one of the major reasons why I'm publishing a lot more courses now. So post the recording, you will primarily encounter two major things, right? Either you are taking too many pauses in the video. So let's say I'm talking, I'm taking a pause, I'm reading the script, I'm talking, I'm taking a pause, reading the script, and so on and so forth. All these pauses are gonna, waste your crazy amount of time if you use a traditional video editor where you're making cuts and removing those silent parts, because those silent parts are not going to look great in the video. The other issue that you'll encounter are the parts where you retake. So let's say you say something and then you do another take about the same topic. It's again not going to look great because the students are not here to kind of, hear you through your retakes. And third is the filler words, where you're using, this basically says that you're thinking a lot of things which important will be the background noise. So these are the four major challenges that at least I faced when I was editing my videos. It took me more time to edit my videos than to create those videos, right? Which is why I use Snappy now. Let me just open Snappy. Snappy can auto edit your course videos, so I don't touch any video editor now for my courses. I will basically upload my courses on Snappy and it will automatically edit it. What you have to do is go to the video silence remover feature. There are a bunch of other features here as well, like AI video clipper. Let me just walk you through those. The audio silence remover, if you're working with podcasts, the AI video clipper will automatically turn your long videos into short viral videos, which is insane. Then there is AI shorts generator, which will generate short videos with the power of AI. There is AI shorts editor, which will turn your long videos or landscape videos into short video format. So crazy. Now for our use case, we're going to be using the AI video silence remover, and it's straightforward, right? So all you need to do now is upload your course files here. Then you can see it has auto edited so many videos here for me, right? So all of these are course files. You can see early on there were certain problems, but after that it seemed the entire solution is pretty good and solid, and it can save you hundreds of hours, if not hundreds of dollars, and it can save you crazy amount of time editing your videos, right? So you can also select your trim preference. So if you have a lot of background noise or no background noise, you can also select templates from here. There's also an option to remove background noise from the video, right? So all of these are great. This is a great solution, at least for all the course related edits, and I'd very, very highly recommend you use this without the complexity of any sort of video editor. Like I said, it's super easy to use. Just upload your video and it's done. I also mentioned it here how I do not use any video editor now. I spend no time editing my videos. So after a course is recorded, I'll just go to Snappy, upload my video, and while I'm recording the second chapter of that course, the editing is almost done. Anyway, so once you do all of that, right, now you have an idea, now you have researched the idea works, you have the record, you've recorded the content, you've uploaded that content on Udemy. How do you publish, right? So I am a very, very hard believer on the MVPs, or the minimum viable products. If you wait to create a perfect course, you will wait months. By the time you reach that point, someone else might have already earned a decent amount of money through your idea or maybe potential idea. So it makes sense to think of an MVP, record the course as soon as possible, and get some early feedback on the content. My course on generative AI wasn't as great when I first uploaded it because it was very new as a subject and it kept going outdated every few weeks. But I learned through iteration. I got the first version out and then I kept editing the course every day. You can definitely at any point go back to this and add new sections or remove certain sections from the course. So it does make sense for you to invest some time to constantly ensure that course content is updated. But for the initial version, try to get it out as soon as possible. Now, the reason I say that is because if you're publishing on marketplaces, the SEO will take time. Your course will not have immediately 100 enrollments, maybe 10 or 20 enrollments. But if you want to get any amount of enrollments in the near future, but and you keep delaying it, it's only going to delay how much enrollments you get. And the best feedback you will only get from the students after they enroll. So assume that you create like a perfect course and it does not work out for your students. You've basically wasted your time creating that perfect course for your students, right? So it does make sense to get your course out. As for marketing, Udemy will do a lot of marketing for you on their own platform, but if you would want to create, if you have a great network of students and you want to sell to them, you can definitely use this coupon code, in which case every sale made using this link, you will get the entire revenue for that sale. Otherwise, Udemy will cost you or take some marketing expenditure from you, which is also great because most of the money that at least I have made today have entirely come from the Udemy's marketing initiative, right? So it does make sense. Even if you're not planning to sell it yourself, just push it on Udemy and then wait for it to kind of work. Otherwise, if you're trying to publish it on some other platforms, feel free to do that as well. There is no, the only request that I'd make at this point of time for you is to get your course out ASAP, and that's pretty much all. So that's all guys for the video. I hope this video adds value to you, and I'm hoping that you could launch your course in a week just like I do now. If you have any questions, feel free to drop those in the comments, but otherwise thank you so much guys and have a great day.